Marcus, thanks for talking to us first of all. Football Foundation, your school in fact was one of the beneficiaries of Football Foundation back in the day.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit what it was like when you first started playing football in your school? I mean, you admit it yourself, you weren't like the biggest kid in the playground, so how did you know that you were sort of on a different level to everybody else even back then?
I think initially it all begins with you just having fun, and you know, in a lot of schools nowadays there's so many talented kids in the school covering a wide range of different sports, and you know, in my school it was lucky enough that there was a lot of people that loved and were good at football, so pretty much all the time whenever we could we was always playing football together, and yeah, like I said, that's how it all started. But of course the facilities have to be in place for you to be able to do that, and you know, thankfully it was in place at that time, and we had no issues in doing that.
You joined United, was it as a 12-year-old?
No, about 7.
About 7. What was the step up like to come out of sort of an amateur environment and into a pro club?
I don't think it was much of a big step up. I remember at first there was about 40, 45 of us, and I'd say the real step up was when we got to maybe 10, 11, when that number dropped down to about 20, and you know, it started to get a bit more serious. And around that age as well, there was players coming from all over the world, and so it got a bit more difficult. But yeah, the batch of players that was there first was a very talented group, and I think we all just moulded well together, and a lot of us have became friends since then.
And you played up the age groups as well, with the likes of was it Jesse Lingard and Ravel Morrison and those guys. For a young boy who was at that age, what was it like to play with guys who were 15, 16? I mean, who had 4 more years of development? What did you learn from them?
I think from the age of about 11, 12, training with them more regularly was a massive part of my development, and a lot of the other kids' development as well. Because training with your own age is a certain amount that you can learn, but when you have the chance to train with older players, the level of learning can, you know, it goes up to the ages of 18 then, and you're learning the same things as what 18, 19-year-olds learning. So that was sort of a massive, it was a big learning curve for us all.
And if I could just change gear for a second and talk about your experience in the summer, your first World Cup. I mean, I was in Russia, but obviously back home there was such an element of positivity surrounding the England team. What was it like to be at the very centre of that?
I think the timing was very good. I think we needed something big to sort of give the country some hope that we can win something in the near future. And I think we didn't get all the way in the tournament, but definitely we've planted sort of that seed where people can now see that what we're growing and aspiring to be. But the biggest thing is with the fans. I think it's been a journey that none of us will forget, for both players and the fans who was watching all over the country, and like you said, back home was crazy.
I know you've got the Nations League as well. You've been in good form yourself for England since the World Cup finished. 2 tough games coming up. How are you feeling about England's current setup?
Very, very tough games, but I think this is the sort of final step that we're at now. Getting over the line against the biggest teams in the world, and I think there's no added sort of incentive than going there and beating them, and that's what we'll feed off. You know, that's what will take us to the next level.
You've got some new players. I know you're not exactly old yourself, but what have you made of the likes of Jadon Sancho around training sessions since he's got here?
We've got the first proper session tomorrow.
Okay.
But to be honest, I've seen a lot of the younger players when they've been playing not only in first team football but academy football as well. So I think we all know the quality and the talent that they have, and it's just about sort of nourishing it, and so we can get the best out of them for our games.
And I guess it helps to drive up the standard. You guys can't be resting on your laurels when you see, you know, is it Mason Mount and James James Maddison and Sancho coming in. I mean, there's big competition for places.
Yeah, of course. But you know, that's the enjoyment in football. There's always people ready to come in, and I think just by their selection, that shows the strength in depth that we have throughout the nation. But you know, hopefully we can go into these 2 games, and I hope that they all do well.
And finally, just one last question for you, Marcus. You've come second and third in the Golden Boy Awards, you know, associated with the names of the best coming players in the world. When you look around guys at your age category, you know, in the biggest clubs in Europe, who do you see as sort of the contenders for sort of the bigger prizes, individual prizes in the next few years?
I think there's quite a lot of players that are sort of battling for that type of thing. Obviously Trent's here from Liverpool, and he's played a lot of games for his age, and he's performed well throughout his time. And I think consistency is the biggest thing. So if you're getting consistent minutes and you're consistently improving, then that's what really separates as they get a little bit older. But there's probably about 10 players that I could name from the ages between maybe 18 and 20, 22. But yeah, there's a lot of talent, and we have a lot of them here. So.
Okay, Marcus, thanks very much for your time. Really appreciate it.
No problem.